So hello, everyone. Once again, you're welcome to We Bear Group's Talk About It podcast show. It's a virtual podcast show. Basically, what we do is that we reach out to experienced guys in the media space for them to educate us on most of the things that we don't understand. In Ghana, I know officially we have three arms of government, but I know there's a fourth one. That's the media, and they play a very key role. Why? The mindset of the people is most of the time controlled by the media. So the media can go by saying that, okay, as we speak, let's say it's around 10:30 here. The media can go about saying that, oh, it's 12 p.m. Another media house will say, oh, it's 12 p.m. Another will say, me, 12 p.m., 12 p.m., 12 p.m. We all believe that, oh, okay, it's 12 p.m., let's take it. So this should tell us how powerful the media is. And we have one experienced guy. His style of doing it is totally different from all the ones that we see around. And it's part of the reason why we reached out to him. And he did not also see us as small guys coming up. He also has also taken the time to also join us. He goes by the name Ameyaw Debrah. And I would like to mention a bit of his portfolio. He has been a content editor at Ghana Web, project manager at Pulse Ghana, managing editor at yen.com, and currently owner of Ameyaw Debrah Media. One thing I would like him to help us understand, or we would ask a lot of questions around that, is he is a celebrity and a lifestyle blogger, content creator, social media influencer. Okay. Before we even delve into the conversation, boss, once again, you are welcome and happy 6th anniversary to Ameyaw Debrah TV.
Thank you. Actually, this year will be our seventh year. So I shared a
Oh,
video from last year's celebration. So that's what most people saw and thought
ah,
it was now. So that was for last year. This year we're going to be seven.
oh, great, great, great. And how's the journey been so far?
I mean, it's been exciting. I mean, like you said, for
Yeah,
me, I started as a blogger, doing my own thing online so many years
okay,
ago,
yeah,
and I had been doing everything by myself up until 2013 when I was like, let me set up a business to sort of formalize what I'm doing and
okay,
also start working with people. But around that
okay,
time, just before that year ended, I was approached by, I think, Ringier, the owners of Pulse, that
okay,
they had tried Pulse in Nigeria. It was working. They wanted to come and start something similar
in
in
Ghana.
Ghana. So they wanted me to come and set it up and lead it. So
Oh,
instead, a lot of people that I had planned to work with when I start my own business. Now I
yeah,
took them to Paul's
ah,
and then announced that we needed more. And so we
okay,
started Paul's, and then just some few months into it, another opportunity came. A group who had started one in Nigeria wanted to come
okay.
to Ghana, so they got me, and then I started Yen. So I did all
Oh,
of these. I did all of these, and then when I left, I stopped managing Yen. I now decided to come back and do
okay.
only my things full time. So that was when the idea of Ameyaw TV came up, and
Oh,
then I started hiring people to start with Ameyaw TV, and
okay.
it's been a journey. Like I said, because I was used to me working alone, get chopping all the money that comes alone. Now I have to
Share with people.
invest to equipment, invest into people, start a new project, and see it grow. So
Yeah,
the first 1 to 2 years was more of spending, trying to grow Ameyaw TV. But now
yeah,
I think Ameyaw TV has found its footing. And
okay,
this year we are planning to do more growth across platforms. I mean, we have been more visible on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook.
yeah,
But now this year we are targeting Twitter because we
okay,
feel that Twitter has become a news platform,
yeah,
and uh, I don't because my Twitter is strong and I use it for doing my own thing. We needed
okay,
one that would also represent the news and the pulse of Ghana in
Okay.
terms of everything that is happening beyond me. So the team is now going to be very active there and also on TikTok. So
Ah,
although every year we set new challenges for ourselves,
yes.
and we hope to keep achieving, growing, and doing more.
Yeah, so that's an interesting story. But before we even, like I said, we even delve into the main conversation, what were you blogging about when you started, and which year to be specific? Because I know you said you decided to formalize it in 2013. What that means is
Yes.
that you even started before 2013, which could maybe be late 2000s or something. I
Yes,
want to
yes,
know,
yes.
yes, when you started, what were you doing? What motivated you to even start
My
your
first
first
blog.
blogging? Yes, yeah.
So it's an interesting story.
Mm.
So while when I was in university tech, I won the prize for best publishing student, and
Oh,
that
okay.
was sponsored by Ovation magazine. And so they said that I could, when it was time to do national service, I could do my national service there.
Okay.
So I mean, I did national service there. It was the first time I was ever working, and then after
Okay.
national service, I stayed on. So during that time, that was when the internet, social media was picking up and all of that. So what I did was I was creating content. Back then there was High Five, not Facebook.
Yeah.
Before Facebook, there was High Five. So I was sharing my daily experiences. If I interviewed someone, I'll put it here, I'll take pictures, and I saw that it was buzzing.
Okay.
So it started like that, and because Activation, it wasn't a daily publication, it was a monthly publication.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
then later we started with a weekly newspaper. So I wasn't always getting time to write. So a lot of it was going on social media and
Okay.
just creating. So I
Yes.
started writing to some people on magazines online from in the US that they are Pan-African and I'm based
Okay.
in Ghana, so I can always contribute something to them. And most of
Okay.
it was for free. So I started
Okay.
contributing just to build
Oh,
my
okay.
skills.
Okay.
And along the line, an opportunity came for me to join a project called Voices of Africa. So what they
Okay.
do is they give Nokia phones to journalists, and then we use the Nokia phones to shoot videos, edit everything on the phone, and then we
Okay.
upload to the africannews.com server.
Okay.
So yes. So while doing that, I joined the project. So while doing that project, an opportunity came for me to go and speak about the project in South Africa, Rhodes University in Grahamstown, South
In which
Africa.
year? In which year was this? Which year?
So this was in 2008.
Okay.
2008. So when I went, it was called the Highway Africa Summit. So they talk
Okay.
about all the digital happenings in the world and how Africa is playing a part of it. And
Okay.
I went there to go and speak about what we were then calling mobile journalism,
Okay.
mobile phone journalism. Yeah, I think
Okay. So quick
so.
one. Quick one. Were you representing Ovation, or you were representing
No,
the
no.
the platforms that you were writing?
So I was representing the platform that we were using the
Oh.
Nokia phone. At this time, I
Okay.
had left Ovation. At this time, I had
Okay.
left Ovation. Yes.
Okay.
So I was doing this thing. It was more like a correspondent. So we would
Okay.
use the camera, go to Adenta, speak to people who were having water issues, and then we tell the story about water shortage or scarcity in this area. Just a lot of community stuff.
Yeah.
But of course, because of my work innovation, I was doing entertainment. I had more access to entertainment happenings, and so
Okay.
I balanced it with the community social stories and then entertainment and arts and culture. So
Okay.
in South Africa, even though I'd gone to speak, there were other speakers from all over the world, including Africa. And at
Okay.
that time, that was when the concept of blogging was taking off. So people were sharing their experiences. I'm like, but I'm doing
Doing
this
it.
thing already, but I
Yeah.
don't call it that I'm blogging, I'm doing anything like that.
Okay.
So after the summit, after I had spoken and all, like when I got back to Ghana, I was like, Charlie, now let me now call myself a blogger. And
Blogger.
so I
Okay.
now created my first blog, blogging platform, which was on Blogspot. So my
Yes.
first Blogspot, was called The Jaded Renegade, and the
Okay.
focus was on entertainment. I was reviewing entertainment happenings, TV shows, and things like that,
Yes.
interviewing people. Because I was still working for the Voices of Africa platform, and so sometimes when I do the video stories, I put some on my YouTube and put it on the blog as well. So it
Okay.
was pretty much all together. So my first blog was in 2008,
Okay.
and
Wow.
and and that's sort of so when Ghana Web saw the work I was doing with the for the Africa Voices platform, then
Mm-hmm.
they emailed me that they wanted me to come and do content
Okay.
editing for them. So
Okay.
I started Ghana Web, and working with Ghana Web. So back then they didn't have a physical presence in Ghana. So
Okay.
they set up an internet for me at home, and
Okay.
then that was what I was using. And
Yeah.
then few months down the line, one of my juniors, I mean, he didn't meet me in a disco, but once he contacted me and made me know that he was from Adisado,
That's good.
I decided to help him. This is Chris Vincent. He was then
Oh,
starting
Chris,
Ghana.
I see you on
Yes,
Facebook. Okay.
yes. So he was also starting Ghana Celebrities and wanted me to give content to him. And I was like, oh, no problem. I can you can take some of the content. So we became friends. So
Okay.
now out of one of the casual conversations, like, why don't you create your own platform? And then jokingly, I said, let's create amiyadebra.com. And he
Okay.
started as a joke. So he just created it. Uh, he sent me the login. That time it was Joomla. Yes, it was managed by Joomla, and then
Okay.
he sent it to me, and then I familiarized myself with the back end and started
Posting.
uh,
Yeah.
posting like joke.
Yeah.
But then as I started posting and started sharing the content, but back then, by that time, Facebook had also become a thing. So when
Okay.
I share it, then I realized that people were excited.
Okay.
They were
Okay.
really the feedback was good. So I was like,
Okay.
hey, let me keep doing it.
Yeah.
Adebrah.com was not making me money at that time, but I just
Right.
like the feedback and the fact that people wake up and sometimes when they hear something, they don't want to believe it until I have said it. So I'm like, Charlie,
Okay.
we have created some brand for ourselves that people
Y-
believe. So
Yeah.
let's keep at it. And then
Okay.
I had my first challenge because I
Oh.
think yes, the owner of Ghana Web, then the Dutch guy comes to Ghana, and then he hears on radio this event happening here, media partners,
I mean,
amiadebra.com. And
Debrah.
it's like, hey, so amiadebra.com is a big platform like that.
Yes.
And then he contacts me, says, why is it happening? It should be whether Ghana
Web.
Web. You work with me, I pay you. And so he gave so many ultimatums. He wanted to now buy out Amia Debrah and make it Amia Web.
Yeah.
So many things came up. I was like, Charlie, this is something people like. It's not making me
Yes.
money. I know I'm earning a salary at Ghana Web. Should I
Yeah.
forego it and pursue this? Eventually, I said yes. I will forego and
Oh.
build this. I will forego the Ghana Web
Okay.
salary
But then, yes.
and
Okay.
just build on amiadebra.com and see what it becomes. So from there, it
Yeah.
was just going through the growing pains of proving yourself. And let's face it, at that time it was early. The space was not
Mm-hmm.
developed to the point where businesses were doing work with us. They were more doing
Yes.
advertising on the traditional medium. So
Yes.
I had to go through that process of find of relevance for myself, for the platform
Yes.
itself to grow to
Yes.
the point where we are now, where everybody is crazy about
Yeah.
social media, internet, and it's a ish, yeah.
That's an interesting story. And one thing I've realized like throughout this is self-education and passion based on
Hmm.
everything that you just said. Because you said like right from school, you decided to do things on your own, and then when you started working with Ovation, you then decided to now write to companies outside just to see if they can give you the opportunity. And your main focus wasn't about money, money, money. It was about building a portfolio for yourself. Through that, you had the opportunity with a company that gave you the Nokia, and then through that, you had the opportunity to travel, and then exposure. There's a popular saying, travel and see. So that's when you got to
Yeah.
do that. Oh, okay, there's something like this. And then from there, you started building your own thing. So for me, what I've just like realized is that you had the schooling bit of it, and for you to grow to become who you are is more of education. We live in a country where when we say schooling, automatically the mind converts it to education. Okay, I would like you to throw a bit light on that, like why students or maybe why graduates shouldn't rely so much on the things they learned from school, and shouldn't also think that somebody is out there to give them opportunities, but they should also take the opportunity to educate themselves, add more value, and then reach out, because that's what you did. It wasn't about the certificates. It was about, let me reach out of passion, let me give it a try and see. We would like you to tell us a bit about that, self-educating yourself and reaching out for opportunities.
Yes, I mean, like you said, the formal educational institutions will take you through the rudimentary stuff, the basic things. But when you want to apply it, this is where you come into the real life and you
Yes.
learn how to implement these things. I mean,
Yes.
although I studied publishing in the university, it
Yes.
was tied into bookmaking, and so
Okay.
it wasn't so much even what I am doing now, but
Okay.
I'm applying those principles to a different platform in a
Okay.
digital way. So a lot of
Okay.
the things I learned in terms of perhaps editing, in terms of creating my own style, house style, and
Yes.
all of that, those were the hard things that I learned. But then in the real world, I have practicalized that. And
Okay.
you in phrasing your question, you talked about opportunities. It's important
Yes.
because you can be the most talented person, but when you don't get opportunities, if you don't look for the right opportunities, then all
Right.
of that talent is going to get wasted because
Right.
the right opportunity is not coming for you to exhibit it and you are stuck. And
Yes.
what I do is I look for opportunities, and when they come, I give it my all. I don't
Okay.
slack.
Okay.
I see what I have to do. If it's not working, I quickly change it to adapt and try new ways of doing it. And
Yes.
uh, it, 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 it's not something that you can teach.
Okay.
It's a self experience thing. Uh,
Okay.
but you must build yourself up and your mind up in such a way that you are quick on your feet. A is not working. Try B
Okay.
in the interim, and look for opportunities. People
Yes.
get opportunities, and it may not be what they are looking for, and then it breaks them. Instead
Yes.
of finding a way to make the most of that little opportunity, which might now lead to something else. They
Yes.
just say, hey, this is not me. But here I
Right.
am. I love entertainment. An opportunity came from an international platform. Create content that resonates with community, society, social issues. I
Yes.
didn't say, mine is
Yeah.
just entertainment, so I love entertainment,
Yes.
so I'll not do this. I
Yes.
took it up because I knew at the end of the day, it's a skill. You just have to
Yes.
the skill of storytelling. Perhaps the focus is different, but it's
Right.
still storytelling. So
Yes.
go at it at this, and they love my content. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
everything
Yeah. We
I
love it.
did.
we, we
so,
we
so,
we we the Gen Zs even like we love it more than we did it.
so
Yeah.
it tells you it's just a matter of finding yourself in every opportunity and
Right.
trying to excel. It's not something I can say do A, B, C, D, but
Yeah.
when the opportunity comes, there's a way you find yourself
Yeah.
doing it.
So you see, in your portfolio, okay, based on everything that you've said so far, I don't know whether to call you a veteran or a legend. In Ghana, almost everybody's a So now, when we talk about veterans and legends, what also comes to mind is that these guys are influential. Like, they can influence. Okay, in your portfolio, we know that you are a celebrity and a lifestyle blogger. You're a content creator. your social media influencer. I would like you to help us understand this once and for all. Who who is a celebrity? Who is an influencer? And then we now come back to the social media and in content creation and all. The reason I am asking this question is that I was telling some people, some guys that Charlie, me, if I'm a company and I want somebody, like I want an influencer, like how they say on, oh, I'm an influencer. For me, I don't see it too, because if no, they shouldn't get me wrong. For me, this is how I understand. This is how I understand an influencer. I use marketing and sales basically to do that. So you can be popular, people know you. I can reach out to you that, see, because people know you, I would like to use your platform to get sales. That's what the companies basically want. For you to be able to convince somebody to remove one CD or take one CD out of his pocket to buy something. For me, that's why I feel like, you've been able to influence this person. Because the money is of value to the person. Exactly. But here's the case that some people have reached out to me, that we've reached out to some social media influencers that the company didn't make any money. So then the question is, okay, who is an influencer? Social media influencer, to be specific. And who is a celebrity? Please help us understand.
Well, I mean, the context of who a celebrity is it's not so clear. But basically, if somebody becomes popular for doing one thing, and there is media attention around that person, automatically he's some sort of celebrity. But there are grades to it. There are so for instance, somebody can be very popular on Twitter, so then you may call the person a Twitter celebrity. Somebody can be very popular on TikTok, so he's a TikTok celebrity because he's popular. And then there are people who are just celebrities known for their acting, their music, the art form, and they cut across. And people also now make transition from one space to the other. So for me, celebrity is just fame. But people can even now qualify it and say you must be rich and famous to become a celebrity. It's not just the popularity and all of that. But in the basic form of a celebrity is somebody who is popular and known for doing something. There's media attention around what a person is doing. So in a nutshell, that's how I would describe a celebrity. For the what you said about influencer, it's absolutely right. And the context of influencer and where it's coming from culturally is different, because the notion comes from the West, where people, usually also celebrities, can say to their fans, go and buy this, and people will go. And then again, it's in a culture of where people have credit cards and all of that, so they can use their credit cards to buy. So it doesn't cost, it's not anything so great that maybe one of the Kardashians have influenced people to go and buy something, because for them the purchasing and everything is quite different. So in their culture, that you see the influence in that sense. But then you also have to put it in a different context when you're looking at what is happening on our side. So the influencing that you see generally is the introduction, giving information that this product exists. That is the basic thing, because you being able to influence knowledge about something in itself is some sort of influence. Because people have been drinking, say, Milo, but through you've posted that there is this way. So now they can choose. Do I go this way? So in that form, in that way, there's some sort of initial sort of influence to it, and then to be able to exert more and say, oh, because I bought food from this person,
Yes.
I'm able to say, this food was good, and now this person is going to buy. That is also influence because the person believes in
Mm-hmm.
you, knows that you have
Yes.
taste, and you are recommending something, so the person will go. So that is
Okay.
also there. It's not always
Okay.
the case that the influence can be felt because, like you said,
Oh.
even me, when it comes to selling a house, it's not the same as me selling food. It's easy
Right.
for me to sell food because food
Yes.
everybody eats.
Yes.
But to sell things like cars, houses, that's more difficult. And even
Okay.
me, my success rates are not as high as when it comes to the lifestyle things that are
Yes.
easier to to, to, to get
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
basically you must know this exists, and then when it's affordable to you, then you go for it. So
Yeah.
there are those levels, and
Oh.
so in Ghana, I think most of the time when businesses are working with people, they don't see like this is somebody who can sell this product, but he can create the buzz around the product,
Awareness. Okay.
awareness for the
Okay.
product. So people look at it on that level. And I even at that, I still agree. There are some people. I think the business should understand who they're engaging and the kind
Mm-hmm.
of platforms they're engaging, because
Yes.
you cannot. Some people are only good for selling condom, or
Yes.
or or or
Yes.
what was it? Aphrodisiac.
Aphrodisiac. Yes.
You don't go and use them to sell Mercedes Benz. So you have to understand.
Exactly.
You have to
Yes.
play and yeah.
Yes.
I do
Yes. I think
understand what
yes.
you're saying.
Yes, I think if you've explained it well, because for me, I had that confusion. Like, if you're an influencer there, you should be able to. Because influence, for me, influence is like convincing somebody to take some valuable part of him or herself to do something. And for me, I feel like, oh, maybe some money or sales. But what you said really makes sense. And when you were like telling us about your journey, you said, okay, Facebook wasn't a thing then, it was high five and all of that. Now we've all gotten to a point where almost everybody is creating content. Now, with the content creation itself too, there are some are evergreen, some just fade out. And if I look at what we have in Ghana most of the time, it's either today, oh, Ameyaw Debrah said MPP problem. Oh, tomorrow NDC something, like just flash in a pan sort of content. Please educate us on content creation since you are in that space, the types of content and the ones you think can help the individual, the content creator, over a period of time. So we'd like you to take us through that. Yes.
Good. I think content creation is on different level. There are those who are writing. So like
Okay.
I had my blog where we are creating content by writing, adding pictures, and then you can do that through audio. So maybe you're doing a voice blog, you can do video, you're doing a vlog, you're doing skits, you're doing whatever.
Yes.
So in terms of the formats that you can take, there are a lot of them, and
Okay.
the platforms too also vary. But the
Right.
concept of content has changed so much because you
Okay.
find that there is an audience for all kinds of things. I mean,
Okay.
there are people who do silent comedy. They don't say anything.
Yes.
Uh, they just do something, open their arms, and people are reacting
Boom, it
to it.
goes. Yes.
There are people who are just flipping into water. They create, and people are reacting to it. There are those
Yes.
who just dance, and people
Yes.
are reacting to it.
Yes.
So the what what is content has been so opened up that
Okay.
anything can be content. But whatever
Okay.
form of content you are doing, I think it's important to to find build communities around that, build
Okay.
audience around that, and make it
Okay.
grow and turn it
Okay.
into something that becomes profitable either through monetization directly
Yes.
or endorsements and things like that. I think that is
Yes.
where we are getting to. As for
Okay.
the content, there are varieties of them, and all of them
Okay.
are having audience, but you have to
Yeah.
find what is working for you. When it comes to
Yeah.
us specifically, for me,
Yeah.
I have content that is me sharing my experience. I have content that is
Okay.
me traveling. I have content that is me cooking. I have content that is me
Oh,
interviewing. I
okay.
have content that is from my team. They are doing different things. So,
Okay.
and I have content that is me that is writing on my website. So
Yeah.
there is so many facets to what I do.
Okay.
And at each stage, I want to be relevant and known for all of that. And
Okay.
I think that is an internal battle that we have to do. And
Right.
it becomes an external battle also because taste and how people are consuming content is evolving. So you
Yes.
have to always be in the mix and know what people are moving towards. And I
Yes.
think in recent times I've been saying it, and people agree that people are reading less on websites.
Mm-hmm.
They are engaging with content more and more on social
Yes.
media. And
Yeah.
so when it comes to social media, that's why video content has become so important because
Yes.
uh, it's one that people are engaging a lot with on
Yes.
social media. So for us, we try to be everywhere and try to be
Yes.
relevant with our
Yeah. So
content.
you mentioned that you have to. It's a battle. It's a battle that you need to. I mean, fight within. You mentioned something. So you need to.
Yeah,
Basically, I think what you're trying to say is you need to find out what works best for you, and then you can
yeah,
create content around that.
around
You
that.
do see people doing things like it's because I've seen Ameyaw Debrah doing this, so I need to do some. Not because I'm passionate about it, but I think and believe that there's money in there. You are in this space. You are in this space, like you said. 2013, you wanted to start up something for yourself. At a point, you had to move, between companies, and then later you decided to start up. In the starting up, I believe that you put pumping money, facilities, equipment, and all of that. In one way or the other, if it's just passion, what am I even putting? Why am I even dumping the money here? So it's
Yeah.
business in one way or the other. So
Yes, yes.
yes. So what are the business opportunities in there? And if I say business, how can I make money in the content creation space or in the blogging space? How? If I write and post, just text, am I going to make money? Am I going to make money? How? If I do video and post, because I heard, YouTube, they pay. I mean, only me, I put video there, I'm not getting it. So how? Like, what are some of the means that some of us can try and see? I mean, not huge, but see something coming in. Yes.
Yes, exactly. I mean, just find the avenues and how monetization happens. So if you
Okay.
have a website, you can monetize through platforms like Google AdSense. So you serve
Mm-hmm.
ads through Google, and then
Yeah.
based on engagement, you're paid off
Okay.
that. And then
Okay.
if you can also now directly sell to say empty and say I have this space, there's this readership, if you
Okay.
advertise, this is it. Even
Okay.
sometimes the content itself is paid for, so
Okay.
you are charging somebody to write about their business, that is paid
Okay.
for. You are making money, even if
Okay.
you are not doing that on the website. You are using social media. You have a Facebook, and it's
Okay.
growing. People are reading it. You can use the same mentality, and
Okay.
now the platforms themselves are also monetizing, and so you're able
Okay.
to monetize on YouTube. You're able to monetize on Facebook, Twitter, but the money may not be as high because of our locality. But it's a growing thing. The more
Okay.
there is business being done in these spaces, then it makes sense what we earn as creators within the space as well. But then
Yes.
these spaces are also global. So even though you're in Ghana, before you know, your content is doing well in the
Yeah.
US, and that will push the audience, it will push your revenue also. So you
Yes.
must understand the platforms you're operating in and learn how to monetize. And
Okay.
it's not easy, especially when you are
Yeah.
starting. I am
Yeah.
lucky, I started early, so most of my
Yeah.
assets were already created. I just have
Okay.
to build on because, like I keep saying, even if I was supposed to start now and do the type of content I do, I will struggle because a lot of the content that is doing well is not things that I want to do. The Gen
Yes.
Z frivolous content is not
Yeah.
what I want to do. And if I
Yes.
was starting and I was competing with that, I would struggle. But
Yes.
it takes time to build if you are starting, and then it will go up. But like you're saying, the passion is important because it's
Yes.
the passion that will lead you to give up or not to give up, and you need
Yes.
that. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with seeing Ameyaw Debrah excel and say I want to be like him, but you
Yeah.
must find yourself in what I am doing. So you know that
Okay.
if he is doing entertainment and is doing it so well, maybe I am doing health. If I
Okay.
give it the same effort, the same uh, energy, I might
Mm-hmm.
also exceed doing it because
Yes.
I go on platforms and TikTok was popular for certain things. It
Yes.
doesn't push me to go and do what everybody is doing on TikTok.
Okay.
I find myself do what I do and find those who like that on
Okay.
TikTok, and that
Okay.
is my audience. I want to
Okay.
grow with that kind of audience. They
Okay.
know the content I'm creating, and then I grow it because a lot of the time you build these platforms based on content, and
Mm-hmm.
so you thinking through that, let's engage with content eventually pays off. But
Yeah.
it's not easy. It's not easy.
It's not. It's not, definitely not. And see, there's a popular saying that education is the key to success. So when I asked you how do we monetize or make money, you told us that we need to understand. You need to understand. We can only understand when we have that level of education. Now,
Yes, yes.
in our schools now, looking at where the world is going. So for me, I'm into a lot of things online, and sometimes when I look at some of the things, maybe even if I don't read for a day, and I go back maybe the next day, I feel lost in one way or the other. It's like a lot of things,
That's
a lot
happened.
of things are happening. Yes. So
Yeah.
based on the things you said, like with the YouTubes, whatever, and all those platforms, that people can self-employ themselves there. Like people can employ themselves there. We are not having that. Well, I don't know, but I don't think we have those. Structures or educational materials in our schools. Do you think the government?
Um, let's not even bring government and
Okay.
school in there because, like you're saying, we now live
Yes.
in a time where knowledge is at your doorstep. There's the
Exactly.
internet.
Right.
I mean, even before AI, there was Google, there was
Yes.
all of this. So the world of knowledge is beyond what the government must do. It's
Okay.
beyond what schools are doing. It's right in
Okay.
front of you. Once you
Okay.
have that initial knowledge that there is the internet, there is this platform, I can do this, you don't have to
Yes.
rely on anybody. Now
Okay.
AI is there. Go to
Yeah.
ChatGPT,
You get a
type
lot of.
how can I make money on YouTube? You
Yeah.
can now use content specific. You can even now say as a Ghanaian, and then they
Yes.
will bring you details as to what to do in that
Yeah.
peculiar instance of where you find yourself. So
Yes.
that is where we don't have to rely on
On
all
government.
of that.
Yes.
Everything is, and I mean, this is the time that things have been so leveled up that opportunities of people in the West is there because the structures and everything works for them. But the
Yeah.
platforms have been there. It's leveled up.
Yes. Yes.
I've gone to events around the world where the best
Okay.
of American influencers are there, and I'm there also from my
Okay.
village in Ghana. So things have been so leveled up that we just have to grab what is in there and make the
Yeah.
most out of it. Yeah.
Yes, yes, which I agree with you. The reason I wanted to chip in the government, just so that people would also get to know, because I knew that you would get to the point where you said that you need to find it out yourself, so that people also know that you don't have to rely on the government. I mean, so much, because we have a lot of materials online. Before we even go, part of the education, can you give us what happened at the Spotify and Sony Publishing camp in Ghana for the musicians? Because most musicians just do music and they don't understand some of these yet.
Well, so I think this was a camp that was meant to educate, especially the budding ones and even the established ones about how the industry actually works in terms of
Okay.
publishing rights and all of that.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I wasn't there myself,
Okay.
so in terms of the details of what they
Happen.
assimilated
Yeah.
and learned, I cannot be specific. But
Okay.
in general, the idea was to equip our musicians, because
Okay.
the music landscape again has been opened up thanks to platforms like the
Yeah.
internet and all these streaming abilities, social media, and so we the African artists must also take advantage of the establishments that exist globally so that they
Yeah.
can also tap into it and grow like their
Yeah.
counterparts. Yeah,
All right. Yeah. So thank you very much for joining us. Before we go, we'd like you to share with us your recent projects and your upcoming projects so that we can follow keenly. Yes.
Keenly. So I mean, recent project is content on Ameyaw TV. We want to.
Okay.
I mean, we are still struggling on YouTube. So this year we want to be vibrant and create
Okay.
content that people will know us for. We keep saying that every
Yes.
year, but this year is going to be different. I see the energy. I feel the
All
energy,
right.
and I'm
Okay.
launching a new platform called Ghana This Ghana That GTGT. So it's
Oh, okay.
specific on promoting Ghanaian culture, places, vibes, especially to the outside world. I think
Okay.
um, because I have different platforms, sometimes the ability to do that is diluted because there's so many
Okay.
things I do. But this is something very
Yeah.
specific on selling Ghana, based on the experiences we we know and once we want to explore. So it's looking
Okay.
exciting. I will be creating content for that platform very, very soon. And I hope that
Okay.
people enjoy it when it finally comes out.
All right. One is an extension of your company. We believe is going to have the same feel. Okay. I mean, thank you very much for joining us. We really appreciate your time. Okay. All
Thank you
right.
very
Thank
much.
you.
My pleasure.
All right. Sure. Bye. Bye.